Christmas in China is a little different. The Western holiday has taken on some new traditions in China. Today we'll show you 7 ways China got Christmas wrong. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. Christmas, the only time of year when people come together, regardless of our differences, to celebrate diabetes. Now, sure, the meaning of Christmas has changed a bit over the years, from celebrating the birth of Christ to celebrating all the stuff we can buy. But the real meaning of Christmas changes even more when something gets lost in translation, and this is especially true in China. So here are 7 ways China got Christmas wrong. Number 7, Christmas apples. A Chinese Christmas tradition is handing out these fancy cellophane-wrapped Christmas apples. They usually have a message printed on them, like Merry Xmas or I love you. The reason for apples is because the Chinese word for Christmas Eve is Ping An Ya, which means a safe or peaceful night. Apple is Ping Guo. Different ping, but it sounds sort of like fruit of peace. How do you like them apples? Number 6, holiday confusion. In China, Christmas isn't really the religious and/or family holiday it is in the US. That's because the big family holiday in China is the Lunar New Year, and no one in any culture wants to have to travel back home to spend time with their family more than once a year. Twice at most if there's turkey. Plus, no one gets Christmas Day off of work. Instead, everyone gets 2 weeks off for Lunar New Year, which is great because you definitely want to take a vacation along with 1.3 billion other people. Anyway, all of that is why Christmas in China is more of a hanging out with friends holiday, like St. Patrick's Day, with less drinking, or New Year's Eve, with less drinking. Or for those with a sweetheart, like Valentine's Day, with more trees. It's also one of the biggest shopping days of the year, so we have that in common. But that brings us to number 5, Christmas dinner. So if people aren't traveling to have a big home-cooked meal with extended family, what will they eat for Christmas dinner? That's where Western fast food chains have stepped in to fill the gap. After all, who wouldn't want to celebrate Christmas with this? A classic Christmas turkey pizza, or a steak pizza, or a shrimp pizza. Yum. Yes, Pizza Hut, that is indeed a taste surprise. And if I have too much turkey pizza, I might even be willing to join in on number 4, an actual war on Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, the hostile foreign forces were lying in wait to undermine China. At least according to some people. Christmas bashers in China warn against allowing Western culture to contaminate Chinese civilization. For example, in 2006, there was an open letter from Chinese intellectuals warning that Christmas was just another tactic in the West's soft power invasion of China. They warned, Christmas celebrators in China are doing what Western missionaries dreamed to do but didn't succeed in doing 100 years ago. The letter added, Chinese people need to treat Christmas cautiously and support the dominance of our own culture. One city banned any Christmas-related events or celebrations in the city's schools, kindergartens, and universities, despite there being a Christian population of over 1 million there. Another city had banners saying, oppose kitsch foreign festivals and stop Western culture from expanding. They'll be happy to know the Communist Party is way ahead of them. Number 3, war on Christians. The officially atheist Communist Party has never been a fan of Christians, or really any ideology or belief that competes for the love of the people, because you can't be both a Communist Party member and a religious believer. And for non-party members, if you want to be Christian, you have to worship at state-approved churches or face severe persecution. And even if you do go to a state-approved church, there's always the chance authorities will come along and tear down your cross, or make you take down pictures of Jesus and replace them with pictures of Xi Jinping. But do you know what makes a great stocking stuffer? Xi Jinping thought for a new era. Speaking of stocking stuffers, number 2, Santa's helpers. In China, Santa's helpers aren't his elves, they're his sisters. Something has definitely been lost in translation there. But anyway, it turns out the real Santa's workshop isn't in the North Pole, It's in China. China makes a large percentage of the Christmas decorations and presents for the rest of the world. So much for elves. And Chinese state-run media don't want you to forget it. American fellows, it is Christmas time, a time to wake up, have a strong cup of coffee, and see what gifts a Chinese Santa Claus really delivers. You see, some people might start thinking that made in China is a bad thing, and state-run media wants you to know that it's great. Well, it's great for you. Maybe not great for the Chinese factory workers who make everything. That does not look healthy. But strangely, Chinese state-run media don't seem to have mentioned how Christmas items might even be made in Chinese labor camps or prisons. Importing products made from prison slave labor is illegal in the US, by the way, but Chinese prisons manage to get away with it by hiding it in the supply chain. You know, once Santa finds out, those prisons are definitely getting coal in their stockings. The stockings that they forced prisoners to make. And finally, number 1. Smooth Jazz Santa. Even the most recognizable symbol of Christmas has developed Chinese characteristics. You see, in China, Santa plays the sax. Maybe he and the little drummer boy can get together and form a jazz duo. But why does Santa play the saxophone? The Washington Post devoted an entire article to this mystery and still couldn't solve it. The closest they got was that it may have to do with Chinese perceptions of the saxophone as romantic and cool. Saxophones are romantic and cool. That explains why China is the only country in the world where people still like Kenny G. The Washington Post writer also theorized that maybe Bill Clinton's saxophone playing in the early 90s inspired the saxophone Santas. That seems a little far-fetched to me, but if true, we should all be glad that it was early 90s Bill Clinton, because if it was late 90s Bill Clinton, Santa would have been holding a cigar. So, what do you think about China's Christmas traditions? And let me know what your favorite weird Christmas tradition is in the comments below. Mine is listening to the Christmas Rap by Crew X, which my friends and I found in a 99-cent store. And don't go anywhere, because now is the time when I answer a question from a member of the China Uncensored 50-cent Army, fans who support China Uncensored on the crowdfunding website Patreon. Vanities asks, my wife is a bit worried about ever saying too much on WeChat because of what the government might do to her family. Have you ever heard of families of outspoken Chinese in America ever being harassed back in China? You know, I hate to say it, but your wife is probably right to be worried. WeChat has some serious privacy issues, which is why a lot of people are suggesting you delete it. The problem is, WeChat is used by 800 million users in China, so it is a gateway to China. But the Chinese Communist Party has access to everything you do on WeChat. One report told the Committee to Protect Journalists they believe officials access their WeChat account to surveil the journalist. The reporter said that after using WeChat to discuss visiting a friend in another city, local community officers approached the friend's family and warned them not to let the journalists stay. So that shows the party is willing and able to not only monitor you, but also go after the people you chat with. Private chat groups aren't safe either. Now, those previous examples were about people who were inside China using WeChat. And there have been several cases of people being jailed or detained for what they wrote on WeChat, again in China. I'm not aware of any cases where someone using WeChat outside China has had their family members harassed in China. But security experts say that WeChat outside China is just as unsecure and can be monitored by the Chinese authorities. And there have definitely been cases of Chinese authorities harassing the family members of Chinese dissidents who are outside China. So, your wife should be careful with WeChat. Thanks for your question, Vanities. And remember, if you want to have your question answered on the show, sign up to support us on the crowdfunding website Patreon. Go to patreon.com/China Uncensored. And a special Christmas thank you from all of us at China Uncensored to all of the amazing supporters of China Uncensored who keep our show going all year long. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks for watching China Uncensored. Once again, I'm your host, Chris Chappell. See you next time.